What if the best way to face a world where everything keeps changing is not by holding on tighter, but by laughing a little while things slip through your fingers anyway? That strange thought feels backwards, because most people believe that laughing means not caring, while worrying and gripping hard means taking life seriously. Alan Watts liked to turn that idea upside down, suggesting that seriousness can be a costume fear wears, while laughter can be a quiet sign of understanding. He talked about impermanence, which means that everything changes, even the stuff we wish could stay forever, including toys, feelings, friendships, and the way we see ourselves. This sounds scary at first because change often feels like loss, and loss feels like something to avoid, not something to smile at. Yet Watts invited listeners to imagine life like music, where notes are beautiful because they end, not because they freeze in place forever. When kids hear a favorite song, they do not demand one perfect note that lasts forever, because the song would stop being a song at all. Still, another voice inside says that real life is different, because toys break, games end, and good days disappear without asking permission. Watts did not deny that sadness exists, which keeps his ideas from floating away like silly jokes without weight. Instead, he asked whether sadness becomes heavier when we pretend things should not change, even though everything always does. Picture a sandcastle built near the ocean, where the builder knows the waves are coming but builds anyway. One way to build is to panic at every splash, while another way is to enjoy the shape, the process, and even the collapse at the end. Both ways feel possible, which creates a tension that Watts never rushed to solve. Laughing through impermanence does not mean mocking pain, but noticing the strange humor in trying to freeze a moving river. Kids sense this when they laugh after tripping, because sometimes laughter arrives before terrors decide what to do. Adults often forget that laughter can be a reflex of resilience, not a sign of carelessness. Watts enjoyed pointing out that humans take themselves very seriously, even though the universe keeps spinning without checking our schedules. This idea feels uncomfortable because it shrinks our importance while expanding our freedom at the same time. If nothing stays the same, then mistakes also do not stay forever, which feels comforting. Yet if nothing stays the same, then happy moments cannot be locked in a box, which feels unfair. Watts balanced right on that edge, letting both feelings exist without picking a winner. He compared life to a game of hide-and-seek, where the universe hides from itself just to feel the joy of rediscovery. In that game, impermanence is not a bug but a feature, even if players forget the rules. Kids understand games ending, because games only work when they have beginnings and endings. Trouble starts when people treat life like a test they must pass instead of a dance they can join. Watts teased this seriousness gently, like a teacher who smiles while asking a question with no easy answer. Is laughing a way of escaping reality, or is it a way of seeing reality more clearly? The question hangs there because both answers feel partly true. Some laughter hides fear, while other laughter releases it, and telling the difference takes attention. Impermanence can feel like a storm, or it can feel like weather, depending on how tightly someone clings to staying dry forever. Watts suggested that letting go is not something you do forcefully, but something that happens when you stop fighting. That idea feels slippery because trying not to try is confusing. Kids know this confusion when someone says, "Just relax," and relaxation immediately runs away. Watts smiled at that paradox instead of fixing it because paradox was part of the point. Laughing, in his sense, was not loud comedy, but a soft inner chuckle at the strangeness of existence. This chuckle does not erase fear, but it sits beside fear without panicking. Impermanence then becomes less like a threat and more like a rhythm. Still, rhythms can speed up or slow down, and nobody controls the tempo completely. That lack of control scares some people and frees others. Watts did not tell listeners which reaction was correct, which keeps the story open. He trusted curiosity more than certainty. He trusted play more than rigid rules. In a world where everything changes, laughter becomes a question rather than an answer. Is laughing a way of giving up, or is it a way of finally joining in? The story ends without deciding, because maybe impermanence is not something to solve, but something to notice, smile at, and keep wondering about as the next moment quietly replaces the last.